Yo, what's going on, guys? My name is Ethan, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today, we're going to be doing some food photography. I stole some shelves off of a bookshelf. So we're going to use this for our background. It's got some nice texture to it, so hopefully that looks good in the photos here. And then after we finish up with this food photography, I'm going to run you through how I'm going to edit these photos. We're going to do a bit of Photoshop and Lightroom work, and then that should be about it. So hopefully you guys enjoy, and let's get right to it. Alright guys, so I just imported all the photos into my computer. I went through them all and kind of picked a couple of my favorites. I already edited one of them, and then I'm going to edit one right now. So, starting in Lightroom here, we basically got a, nice food photo. So first thing I want to do is basically just bring up to the exposure a good level. Just do all your normal stuff. I'm just saying where I want the highlights to sit. Bring up the shadows, bring up the whites, bring up the blacks a bit. One thing about clarity is I do like to add a bit of clarity to all my images. So most of the time my clarity just sits around 10. If I want something more dramatic, I can even bump it up to 30 or 40. So we'll just set this to about 10. About 10 for now. Also, another thing I like to do with my photos is lower the vibrance and saturation just a little bit. I find the colors just sit in a lot nicer, so we're going to do that now. So most of the time I'll just lower this. I like to lower the saturation more than the vibrance, just so I have more of a realistic feel. Like, I like the colors to sit in, but I want them to still pop, so therefore I lower the saturation more than the vibrance. Alright, so you guys don't have to mess around with the tone curve. It's definitely not essential, but I do suggest learning it. So I'm going to go speed through it real quick and see what we can come up with. Alright, so I think I just finished up with the tone curve. It gave it a lot of color and a lot more pop to the image. And for the RGB curve, I didn't really do an S curve. I just like boosting those midtones and highlights and then leaving the shadows where they are. If they did need more, if you did need more contrast, you could definitely do that by just coming over here, and lowering it a bit. But I feel like the image looks a little too contrasty, so I like to just do that. It gives it more of a natural feel, and I can always play with my curves more in Photoshop. Alright, so the next thing I do is I move on to HSL, and I'll play with all the sliders and just kind of go for it. Most of the time I'll have a preset, so I already know what my colors sort of are and you know the vibe I want to give off. But right now I'll just speed through it and try and do it from scratch. Alright, so I just sort of got done with the HSL. Basically, I wanted to make sure those greens and reds pop from that salad and then let those blues kind of sit in and not distract from, you know, the main subject of the dish. And I think that would probably be the nice greens and reds. So basically, you know, I just desaturated the blues and kind of brought down the luminance. And I did the opposite to the oranges and reds. I just kind of boosted all of them and, you know, kind of made them pop a bit more. So, looking back here, this is what we have. That's without HSL and that's with. Looks super nice, actually. So, let's continue on. Alright, so now that we're done detail, tones, and HSL, the last thing I'll play around with is calibration, and then I'll basically be sending it to Photoshop. There's definitely a little trick to do the calibration. When you bring your blue primaries to the left, it kind of pops the oranges and makes that teal orange effect. And then I also like to desaturate it a bit. And then with the reds, you can kind of counteract that, especially if you're working with skin tones or portraits. But right now, I think I'll just leave it at 0. Especially because I want those reds to sort of pop. And then also with the green primary, I can play around with that. I sort of like it to the right. I could probably boost the saturation too. Alright, so that was our camera calibration. We definitely got some more reds out of this photo and made it really pop. So now all we're going to do is left click and edit in Adobe Photoshop. Wait for it to, you know, load up. Alright, so our photo just got uploaded in Photoshop here. I think I'm going to start out with taking this line out of the photo. So to do that, you just want to click New Layer on the bottom right. You're going to come up here to the bandage. You're going to go current and below, sample, current and below. This makes it so you have a new layer and you can sample everything below this layer. And you know, if you mess up or do some weird stuff, you can just disable the layer. This makes it so you're working non-constructively and is a huge help. If you just did the bandage tool right on your background layer, it would kind of suck if you messed up. You'd have to undo and it wouldn't be that good. With this, you can literally just erase some of the layer, try again, do whatever you want. So definitely do that. So basically, starting from scratch, we're going to just come in here. You can hold the space bar and move around, and then you're going to get your brush. The left bracket and the right bracket control the size of the brush. You can press down Alt and you'll keep sampling the image. Okay. So I'm going to just come in here and start. And it's not too hard. It should take you about 5 minutes or so. When you get closer to an object, just lower the size of the brush, and you can also increase the hardness, which is right here, if you feel like it. I personally don't. So I'm just going to leave it. Alright, so spacebar to move around your image, and you're going to just keep going. Now that we're done taking out the line, I'm going to take out some other distracting objects. You definitely want to get the best out of camera as you can, but worst comes to worst, you can definitely Photoshop it out and, just spend more time post-processing. So I'm going to go ahead and spend way more time with this and keep Photoshopping, and then I will talk to you guys when I have a final result. All right, guys, so I'll show you the final 2 images from this photo shoot. Here's the first one that we just edited. I definitely like it. It's very punchy and contrasty, and I think the colors definitely have that nice vibrance that I wanted. And here's the second photo that I edited. It's more of a front lay sort of photo. I love it. I think all the details and the leaves that we put around the plate definitely make the image way more interesting and definitely more purposeful than just a boring salad. So hopefully you guys like the edit, and yeah, let's get right into the outro. Alright guys, thanks for making it through the YouTube video. If you did enjoy this video, make sure you subscribe. I'm going to be posting a lot more videos like this. And with this whole isolation thing, I might be doing some more editing tutorials. So if you're interested in that, make sure you drop a comment or give me a follow and message me on Instagram. I'm always available to talk and answer. And yeah, without further ado, peace out.